declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election in Biafra land.
No. What should I do? It's what we expect to happen. But I want our people to be very calm. I want Biafra land to be calm, and peaceful. Calm and very, very peaceful. We are fighting to defend our people, not to kill them. Yes. We are fighting to defend them. That's why I'm here. Yes. And we'll continue to do so until we get victory. Yes,
fortunately, we don't reason like that. Anybody thinking that Igbo presidency 2023 will stop us? What we want is Biafra, and what we're going to get is Biafra.
Instead, Biafra will not come in 2023. We will burn down Nigeria, and still Biafra will come. Do you understand me? When we say we will burn down Nigeria, some people will shout, "Oh, go and arrest him. Go and arrest him." These are fools. Complete fools. You think we are scared of saying we are going to burn down Nigeria? Who will burn down Nigeria? You think war is to come and cement your house? You think fighting war for your freedom is to come to your house and cement it, or to go to government houses and put a pillar so that it will not fall? You think fighting for freedom is not about burning down? We're going to burn down Nigeria, and after burning it down, Biafra will still come. So the choice is yours. It is not, I want you to make this video go viral. I am saying it today, the 6th of November 2022. If you do not give Biafra freedom, and if we do not get freedom in 2023, and if we do not fight for the freedom and get it, we are going to burn Nigeria down. And after burning it down, we are still going to get our Biafra. All of them is what we call win-win.
Kanu is the Messiah, and Simon Ekpa, the John the Baptist, is the voice. Simon Ekpa, water is the code.
Simon Ekpa, Tati Kanu. Simon Ekpa, Tati Kanu. I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa. I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa, Tati Kanu. Simon Ekpa, Tati Kanu. I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa. I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa.
Yeah, what a great way to start the program this morning. Thank you for joining. You see those little children, great children of Biafra. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Today is the 19th of November 2022, and we're here again live for the program NUGGET conference on Biafra Global Network. It's a great day, and also it's very good to see lovely children and kids just singing, especially to Mazi Nambikanu and Mazi Samonekpa as a representation to the freedom that we're enjoying. These are the children that are waiting to come back to Biafra land as soon as we're able to get our freedom. And that is why we're doing everything we can do to make sure that we get our freedom, because we want our children to come back and experience this great deliverance that God will grant to Biafra in this generation to come. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining. Let me go straight to some of us. We already have one of our guests in the house already. Chief Emeka is in the house. Before I bring him in, I'm going to that's as usual, the rituals for the day before we begin to go straight to what we have to do today. Remember, we are still dealing on the issue of the criminality of Ejiofor, who has made himself a stooge and an instrument to actually fight the people. And of course, we are also looking at his attitude, his actions in relation to what happened during this the Civil War, and of course talking with those who have been there, who were there, during the war. I want to thank you, Amechi Jonas, for being the first person to send a message today. Thank you for being part of this, and thank you. I want to welcome you. I want to welcome everyone who is joining. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, anyways, and I am your host today, as always your host here on Biafra Global Network. And us, of course, today is weekend, and I know you're enjoying your time, having a good time. I want to thank Mazi Nambikanu, who has given us the opportunity to be here to actually fight for our freedom, giving us the reason to understand what it means to fight for our freedom. I also want to thank Mazi Samonekpa, who is standing strong and who is the spokesperson of Biafra, and at the same time doing great work on behalf of the people. I want to thank Professor Banji Akintoye, who have allowed himself to be an instrument to the freedom of the Oduduwa, our Oduduwa brothers. I want to thank Chief Sunday Igboho too, who is also bringing another dimension to that. Mazi Nambikanu began in our sphere and opened the eyes of everyone. Then Mazi Samonekpa comes in to bring another dimension, and Akintoye is supporting the movement which Mazi Nambikanu has introduced to us, and Sunday Adeyemo Igboho is bringing another dimension to it. So you see the balance there. It's the balance here, the balance here, the balance here. In the other sphere of Oduduwa world, it was actually the way, of course, the normal way of fighting for freedom. And then the new dimension comes with Sunday Igboho taking the action into the people. And of course, we saw what happened, and we know that we have gotten our freedom, of course, which was actually stipulated. And of course, the evidence is the alliance that we have today. I want to thank every member of the media team, both for the Oduduwa Nation and for the Biafra Nation. I want to thank Muada. I want to thank everyone, committee members and all of that, the Alliance, and everybody in the Oduduwa world and in Biafra world. I want to thank you all for being part of this. I want to appreciate you all. Thank you for joining. And let me go straight to the messages. Before our guest will come in, before I introduce him, let me do the formalities that are necessary, because I'm going to give you the news of the day and the things happening, and then we can go straight to the program. Our guest is already in the house. He's waiting patiently, and he's here to give us what we need to hear today, give us the information we need to hear today, and know the things we need to know. Thank you, Amechi Donas. Also, I want to thank you. Robin Obi says, good job, bro. Thank you, Robin. Thank you, Robin. Thank you for joining. I want to thank you. And Neolin. Okay, Neolin. Okay, hi. Okay, Neolin, thank you for hi too. Also, I say hi from here. Thank you for joining. Edith Nedu, good afternoon, Kelechi. Almighty God bless you, your great voice. Thank you. Bless you, great voice. Thank you so much, Edith Nedu, for that prayer. I say he said to it, and I thank you all. Oh, these children or this child made my day. Wow, lovely kid, Always dishes. Thank you for that. They are lovely kids, Edith Nedu, welcome Biafrans, okay, to the Biafran people. They're saying welcome. Thank you for that special greeting to Biafrans. Ugu Valentine says, good day, everyone. Thank you, Ugu, for joining. Valentine, thank you. We say also good day to you. Shabbat Shalom to Ezibute Umuchineke. Yes, thank you, Miss Obris Dishes. Of course, that's the also that way that Ejiofor also uses, but this time around it's a clear one, it's a good one, not the one Ejiofor says to manipulate, but this one is the true one. Hey, my able mentor, I hail you. Thank you. And Uwa Junior, thank you, my great guy. Thank you. Good to have you here. It's good to see you always here. and I know you're going to do greater. You know, we always want to, we would always want the next generation to do greater. So you're going to do greater. So since you have decided to take me as your mentor, then of course you're going to do greater things than me too, because that's my prayer. Anybody who believes in what I'm doing will do greater. Of course, God will use it to do greater things. Everest and Meadow. What a great way to start the program with these beautiful angels. Yeah, so very, very beautiful. I just wanted to start it especially with those children, always, and I'm going to have them always here because they make my day. Remember, Jesus says something, except you become like a child, you will not see the kingdom. That is what is wrong with those people who are actually standing against the work of freedom. That's what is really happening to those who are fighting against the work of freedom. Except they behave like a child, you'll not get into the kingdom. So we understand, we believe in Biafra, we believe in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, we believe in Mazi Simon Ekpa. As children we believe, and as children we'll always hold tight. And so that is the concept. And that's why those children have made our day. Thank you so much for that. And Christopher Nwafo, thank you for joining. Mazi Kelechi, good afternoon from here. Thank you, Christopher. Good to have you. All hail MNK. Thank you, Edith Nedu. Thank you. And before I begin to bring our guests and others, we go into the program. Let me go, with the details of the information that we have, the news that is making the rounds. Thank you all for joining. Wherever you're joining, please, as you're joining, just like this video, and also share on all your social media platforms for people to join us. Remember, I told you that the concept of establishing the truth all over the nations of the world rests in our bosom. That means it is our actions that will determine how we can convert the world to understand truth. If we don't take action to make people see that we have the truth, we will not be able to convert the world. We must get the truth to reach them. And the only way we can do this is through you. As I say the things, you circulate it all over the social media and get people, to hear all over the nations of the world. And before you know it, you begin to get right people begin to think right and all of that. I want to appreciate you all. Please like this video, share the video on all your social media platforms, and also subscribe to this channel if you have not done so that we can have a strong reach and a strong reach. Well done, Kelechi. You are doing a great job. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Emeka. Thank you so much, Emeka, for that. I appreciate you for that message. Let me read the last message before I begin to do, some other things. Then later I'll come back to messages. Owa Junior, your style of presentation is amazing. Keep it, bro. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. Thank you. I'm delighted. We heard the story, of course, the finance ministry in the Zoological Republic, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has told us to understand that it's a zoological republic based on the system. We hear that they are looking for $8.92 million. What are they looking for? $8.92 million. To do what? To buy furniture? To buy stationery? That is what the Ministry of Finance is looking for. The Ministry of Finance is looking for $8.92 million. They want to borrow that they want a loan of $8.92 million from World Bank to buy stationery, to buy furniture, and other things they want to buy. You can imagine the kind of people we have. You can imagine the kind of people we have and all of that. And also we are here, of course, you can get that news from Sahara Reporters. You can get that news from, I have a call coming in. Please allow me to pick this call quickly because it's our guest, our other guests, Pastor IK. And so, okay, he's gone off. So let me just drop it. So when he comes again. Also, we hear that, you remember the Owo massacre? You remember the Owo massacre? Check Sahara Reporter again. You will see the news. One of the suspects and one of those who massacred people in that church in Owo, Ondo State, has been granted pardon by the governor of Kogi in the Zoological Republic, so that he will be used as a political thug for him in an election that will never hold in Biafra land. So you can imagine, that political thugs. You can imagine the impunity in the zoo. Of course, we hear also, as at yesterday, that $20 million of Abacha loot has been given back to the zoo, but they want to borrow money from the World Bank to buy furniture, $8.92 million, to buy furniture and all other things in the Ministry of Finance. just to buy furniture and not investment, just to buy. Now they have given them $20 million, and that one will go into their private pockets. When they now get that load, they are trying to pile up. They know that the zoo is ended, so they want to collect as much as they can collect all over the world, so that they can, as thieving and as criminals as they are. We also know that the World Cup begins, I think, tomorrow. This is the eve of the World Cup, so all of you get prepared to watch the World Cup. Even if we know that Biafra will be one of the nations one of these days that will go into that also. Ukraine's electricity grid has been destroyed. Almost half of it has been destroyed, and today over 7 million people are out of electricity. The president of Ukraine is telling the people, if you can travel out of the country, please travel out, because we cannot guarantee, so that we can lessen the burden on the grid, so that we can have power for some people. If you can travel out, you can imagine the situation in Ukraine today, that the president will have to say, please travel out if you want to travel out. Those of you outside the place, please don't come back. Please don't come back until we're through with this kind of problem. So we have Pastor Ike, please, you already have the link is already on your platform. You can just click the link and join. I already sent the link to you. I already said there's no way I can bring you in unless I send it. Okay, let me resend the link to you here. Let me resend the link. Let me resend the link to you, please. I already sent the link, but let me resend. You just click on it and come in. Let me resend the link to you. Yeah, the link is already there. Let me resend it. Let me resend it. I've sent it again. Please just click on the link and you will come in. There's no way I can bring you in unless you just come in from with using the link. Please, sir, come through that means. Thank you. So now, of course, I told you about the Ukrainians and all of that. Oh my God, my brother. Thank you so much, Junior. Thank you so much for that. Thank you so much for that. Thank you. You said, Mazi Kelechi, your speeches make me feel like I just won $1 million. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you. I like that compliment. Thank you. You make me happy too. Thank you very much. Of course, we hear that nuclear, the North Korean president, what's his name now? Pyongyang. No, Pyongyang is the capital. What's the name of that guy? Jong-un or something. Those their names are very funny. Sometimes you find it hard to pronounce. He said they have successfully launched their nuclear missiles, testing of their nuclear missiles, and they are very ready for any nuclear war. And of course, you know that nuclear war is brewing. It's like something is happening, cooking. But we keep watching anyways. Only God will save us in this world, yesterday, of course, Ejiofor was granting an interview and he was speaking in Igbo. Of course, you understand the tactics. He wants to now penetrate the emotion of the grassroots, the people in the East, with speaking Igbo, to make them feel comfortable with him and to make them understand. We understand it, but we know that we are, we are going to deal with him, and we have been dealing with him, and he is gone because he has sold Biafra, he has sold Martin Americano, he has sold the mandate, he has sold the work. So we don't actually have anything to do with him now. Thank you all for being here, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to be bringing in our guest, Chief Emeka, to the studios. But before I bring him, I want to actually, I've sent the link back to Pastor Ike to be here, but I don't know why. It seems he's finding it hard to come through using the link, but I hope he will be here soon. But before he comes in, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, fathers and mothers, everyone here, everyone watching live right now, we have Kim Jong-un. Yes, thank you. No, it's it's supposed to be on, UN, not UM. Kim Jong-un. Yes, our two guests are in the house already. We have ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, lovers of freedom, people of Biafra, people of the Ojukwu nation, and lovers of freedom all over the nations of the world. I want to welcome specially, and I want you to join me as I bring on the platform, or right in the studio. They're already in the studio, right on screen, as I bring my guests. Chief Emeka is right. Thank you so much.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. The only thing is that since your camera has been turned the reverse way, so we are not seeing you. Actually, seeing the other way. We're not seeing you. Yes, so you can just click click the button so that and you.
Yeah, I'm trying to say
where you have something like a reverse sign, on the camera, stuff that will show, that will show you. All right.
Okay,
it still has to be.
If I can find it.
Please do. Yes, please do. And without wasting time, also, I'm bringing in Pastor Ike on the screen. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Pastor Ike. Thank you so much, sir. Please say hi before Chief finishes. Please say hi to Biafrans briefly.
Where's my reversal?
Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining. These great men have joined us this morning, and you are going to tap into their experiences, into their collection of wisdom. And today is going to be great because we are going to be looking at critically some basic things that concerns us in relation to what is happening now and what happened then, during the war. And of course, I want to. Some of you were having questions last Saturday. You had to having questions. Please, if you have today, I'm going to give you, of course, you can watch the screen, your number to call in when we open the lines. Once I tell you to start calling, you can call. Or if you want to just write your questions, just write them, please. Just write them, and then we can answer. They will answer the questions. So you can either send a message of your question, or you can actually call in with the number on your screen. Just keep watching. You will see the number display. But I can I can pronounce the number to you. I can say it out to you. +212 707 898 194. I'll say it again 2 more times. +212 707 898 194. +212 707 898 194. Thank you all for your time and for watching from all over the nations of the world where you're watching from. I can't go now reading your messages because I have to concentrate and also talk with our guests. Now, we're waiting for Chief. Maybe he can still speak when it's still his. Please, Chief, can you hear us, Chief Emeka?
I can hear you, but I'm still trying to find my. There's no reversal of my.
Okay, please just say hi to Biafrans, even if just say so that they can hear your voice and as you try to sort it out, please.
Hello, Biafrans. How you are doing? I'm happy to be here with you all today. Well, all of you are ready to hear our experiences and what we are going to say, and hopefully it will help all of you. I wanted to give acknowledgement to God, first of all, for making it possible for us to be here, because without him, nothing will be possible. Just a minute. I also want to give acknowledgement to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu for bringing us thus far, because like last time, my brother was very thorough in explaining where we have been, where we came from, and why we are here today. Because since the war ended in 1970, we were all conquered. We were all very beat up, and nobody had a voice until Nnamdi Kanu appeared on the scene. Actually, it started with Owazurike, but not many of us were really conversant with Owazurike, but it's Nnamdi Kanu that universalized the struggle. And whoever did not know about the struggle started to pay attention. So we give thanks to the emergence of Nnamdi Kanu because he was speaking the truth about us, and we all loved him because of that. Then, since his rendition from Kenya, we've been blessed once again to have the man in the name of Mazi Simon Ekpa. He picked up the mantle from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and he has been doing an outstanding job. Whoever is not in tune with struggle, after listening to Simon Ekpa, will be in tune with this struggle. He is speaking the truth, the way Nnamdi Kanu was speaking the truth. The truth is never You can never contradict the truth. The truth is straightforward. Jesus said, when you hear my voice, my disciples will hear my voice and they will come to me. So when you hear the truth about the struggle and the mouth where it is coming from, there is no doubt. There shouldn't be any doubt in anybody's mind that this guy is speaking the truth. So I thank Master Simon Ekpa for taking us into the future. So, I suppose I just stop there.
Thank you,
For,
Chief. Yes, you have actually said a lot. You have actually said a lot. Before I go in, before I begin to ask my guests, okay, Pastor Ike, you want to say something? It seems you are muted. It seems you are muted. Please. Please.
I can't hear him too.
Yes.
Yeah, she can't hear him either.
Yes. Please, Pastor, say something if we can hear you. Let's see whether we can hear you. We still can't hear you. Just check the microphone button.
Our listeners is giving trouble today.
No, it won't. It won't. We can hear your voice. So it's just that your camera refused to actually. Pastor, maybe let's see. I think there's a sign there that looks like microphone stuff. You can just touch it. I think. Okay, maybe the network issue, but your network is full here. I can see it very well here. Your network is actually very well. Maybe you know what? Maybe what you need to do is go out and come in again. Let's see. Let's have this break. You know, with these lovely kids. You know, before this is sorted out, so that we can all be part of this. Watch out for these kids now, please. Watch this.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the Messiah, and Simon Ekpa, the John the Baptist, is the voice. Simon Ekpa, water is the code.
Simon Ekpa, Nati Kanu. Simon Ekpa, Nati Kanu. I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa, I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa, Nati Kanu. Simon Ekpa, Nati Kanu. I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa, I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. I guess you enjoyed those children, one from Biafra land, the other one abroad. You know, these lovely kids. Thank you all for joining, and I want to appreciate you all for being here. Now, we are going to go straight to business. Now, straight to business. We have serious issues to talk about today. Now, you know, we have been hearing of the criminality of Ejiofor, the analysis from Mazi Simon Ekpa, the analysis I've been making also here, and of course, we'll be looking critically at things that have to do with criminality and his approach to how he tries to hoodwink Biafrans, you know, into whether through devious ways or maybe through diabolic ways, anyhow, because we know that he also patronizes diabolism in the way he operates, and of course with the people he mingles with. And of course, we know that all these strategies are meant to actually control the mind of people and at the same time destroy what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has built. And we know that the spirit is in control, and this kind of things cannot actually they can be successful. Many have tried it, they've lost, their time has come, they are losing. But of course, we know that things like this are not new. In 1960, 61, 62, 63, even before 1964 independence, of the so-called sham independence, the sham independence, so-called independence. Before then, they had even when the British, when the British first came into the system, they started their slavery and all of that. We have had sellouts, we have had saboteurs, where people selling their people. It is not new, but we're going to be looking at the sellout strategy in the genocide war. During the genocide war. Now we're going to relate it to the criminality of Ejiofor. I want to see how similar these things are. But first, I'm going to be coming from technical angle, and I'm going to be asking Chief Emeka, because he's a military personnel. So I'm going to be asking him here. Now, Chief, from the perspective of military, from the perspective of professionalism, which you as a military man can give us or tell us about, how can you relate the criminality of Ejiofor and his sabotage now to what happened during the war of 1967, and what do you see as something that is similar to the approach?
Well, in any struggle, there are those who are going to be 100% for it.
Yes.
And there are those who will be in the middle, who are not sure which direction to go. And there are those who are fully invested in undermining that struggle. So Ejiofor, to me, seems like a man who is confused. He's in the middle. He has one leg in the struggle by having the lucky, the attorney for Nnamdi Kanu. And then he has that leg in Nigeria because that's where he's making his livelihood. So somebody like that, according to the scriptures, because when you are for something, either you are hot, when you are hot, be hot. When you are cold, be cold. But when you are in between, lukewarm, God said he will vomit you. So such a person cannot be trusted. Somebody like Ejiofor cannot, because he's neither for Biafra and he's neither for Nigeria. So he's in between. So he wants to be in a position where if Biafra succeeds, then he'll say, oh, I supported the struggle. But if it doesn't succeed and Nigeria wins, then he'll say, oh, I've all along been for Nigeria. So a man, he is a man without character. That's what he does not have character at all, because somebody must have character to make a stand. Such a person in the military, when we pick you out immediately, you will be subjected to court martial, because your orders, when your order says go, you must go. When your order say retreat, you must retreat. There are no in-betweens. So Ejiofor is very, very dangerous. He's a dangerous person. So we cannot overlook him in whatever we are doing. So we have to watch him very clearly, because he's not. We have to watch him because we don't know which direction he's heading to. Otherwise, he will cause a lot of damage to our struggle.
Now, I want to ask this question, quite right.
Yes.
Because of course, you were right there, during the war.
Yes.
How would you evaluate the level of sabotage that Ojukwu? What do you think the level of sabotage? Because we know that he had this attack from within his people, left, right, center. What do you think was the extent of that sabotage in relation to losing the war?
Okay, like I said last time, we started losing the war after our forces overnight withdrew from our way heading to Lagos. We already reached Okitipupa. We started withdrawing all the way back across the Niger River. So that was the beginning of the reversal of our struggle. So the level of sabotage that occurred then, I think was, in fact, that was the major one. Any other sabotage that occurred, because after those initial people were captured and they were disposed of, the people that caused that sabotage, after they were captured, Ifanjuna, Joko, and his cohorts were captured, they were killed. The sabotage decreased. Okay, it was not like a lot of other people who were involved. No, it was just those senior military officers who started. But today, the difference is that today, the luring attraction is that of money. Okay, because Nigeria discovered during the war that with using the money, they could have even avoided fighting the war by just using money to buy off a lot of our people. So now, since they discovered that weapon, so now they're using money to bribe a lot of people to forgo the struggle. So today is worse than it was then. I would say today is really worse.
So that means at what point Ojukwu started feeling the level of sabotage? Because we know that when the war started, there were advances. According to the story, there were advances and successes. At what point did the sabotage begin to affect everything? Because now you said clearly that money was actually not the factor at Saddam, that actually propelled the sabotage. And so at what point were they able to sabotage, Ojukwu and the strategy for the war?
Okay, I think we started within 6 months of the war, when the war started. Within 6 months, that's when we already liberated the whole of Midwest.
Yes.
Okay. Then continue our march towards Oduduwa. So after that, that was around August or December of 1967. Okay, when 67. Actually, that should be around November, December. Actually, when when our forces started retreating. So once it was clear that because the commanders at the front were no longer receiving the orders because they've already submitted to Nigeria's demands, and we're moving our forces backwards instead of going forward. So I think the initial blow came to Ojukwu in around November, December of 1967, when he realized that he's been sabotaged. Yes.
Now you talked about Biafra Organization of Freedom Fighters. The BOF, yeah. You actually gave us some information about their activities. Now, can you please fully give us what they actually represent in those days? Aside the regular army, were they different from the regular army?
Yes.
And what was their function?
Okay, the BOF was involved in hand-to-hand combat.
Okay.
Okay, you were trained on how to fight hand-to-hand combat because you had to come close to the enemy. So if you happen to be behind enemy lines and you come in contact with the enemy, after demobilizing the person, then you have to kill him and take his weapon. So the greatest asset you had was your ability to fight with your hand, with anything, with any kind of weapon, stick, whatever it is, knife, that you can, that is around you. Instrument in the bush is a weapon, becomes a weapon. So we're able to go behind there, demobilize them, carry their, get their uniforms, get their weapons, and then we carry them back to our garrison, to our headquarters. And other than that, in fact, much of the weapons used by Buff were all captured weapons from Nigerian soldiers. We didn't have any weapon. So that's what Buff was all about: physical combat, hand-to-hand combat.
Now, was Buff the strategy of Buff, was it a guerrilla tactics?
Yes, purely guerrilla warfare. Yes, but that's why I said if we had melted, when we, instead of surrendering, if we had melted back into the bush, the regular army had melted back into the bush, and then we retrained, as Buff were already, we could have continued the fight without surrendering, and then we'll just have a lot more personnel to carry out the guerrilla warfare, and this time that will involve the whole of Nigeria instead of just concentrating in Biafra land. So that was the greatest mistake I think Ojukwu made, to surrender. Though he left the country, so he handed over power to General Effiong, who finally surrendered in Lagos.
Okay, was it that Buff actually was not well educated on the guerrilla warfare tactics effectively to understand how to? Okay.
No, Buff was very, very effective. Even the international organization recognized it as it was one of the most effective guerrilla war, apparatus we had in the world at that time. So Buff was very, very effective, but because of because of lack of manpower, we were at a point Biafra was conscripting people, men who didn't actually want to go to war. So because of lack of manpower, so that's probably was part of the hindrance that confronted Biafra. Other than the regular army, Buff, we had even when I went to training myself, there were like 50 something in my unit that were trained at one time. So it's not like everybody was trying to volunteer to win that war. There are a lot of people who hid in their mother's house trying to avoid being conscripted. So Bob was very, very effective. That's why I said if we had melted into the bush at that time and continued the fight, Biafra would have been here a long time ago.
So you think that in relation to what we are going to be doing now, that would be just like Mazi Samonekpa have been talking about, the guerrilla warfare tactics, and Mazi Nambikano talking about it. That means in this time it will be a very, very unique tool in spite of, and as it was then, it will be a very, very unique tool for us to utilize this time to actually win our fight.
Exactly. Guerrilla warfare, no conventional army ever defeats a guerrilla army. Okay, because it's like in guerrilla warfare, time is of the essence. Okay, you come in at any point, any time of the day, morning, night, afternoon, whatever time. No time is safe. Is good for your opponent. You come anytime, especially at night, cause a lot of damage, and you disappear. Okay, don't know when you are coming. They don't know when you are going. What is happening in the Middle East is a typical example of how we have to do it. If you remember what happened in Afghanistan, they were planting roadside bombs. That's what we do. That's why we need bomb. A lot of bomb that you plant on the roadside, and when the Nigerian Army vehicles convoy pass through, you set it off, and it will just demolish all of them, and you disappear into the bush, and go back and find another target. So
now, okay, please finish there. Finish.
Okay, so it is the most effective weapon for us to utilize at this time, because, like I said, we cannot fight a conventional war at this time because it takes a lot of resources, a lot of weapons. We need modernized weapons, which we don't have the money at this time to acquire. Okay, unless we have a world power that throws their support to us and then start to furnish us with modern weapons of war. Okay, to create a standing army, it takes a lot of money because you have to pay those military units. You have to pay them. It requires a lot of organization. Okay, so it's not something that we are well equipped at this time to create. So that's why our best and only instrument strategy at this time is guerrilla warfare.
All right, Chief.
It is yes.
Okay. Let me ask this, because before we talk about sabotage, because basically when we look at sabotage, because one of the trending things now is sabotage. Now, when you catch here, AK says they were cowards. That's me talking about those who were scared of being conscripted into the war, that they were cowards. What do you have to say about
that? Well, nobody wants to die. It takes courage. It takes courage and conviction to really get into the military and volunteer, especially to volunteer. So I would not say that they are cowards. It just means that they lack the fortitude. Okay. They lack the vision for which we are fighting for, because it is your conviction, it is your vision for a better tomorrow, not the status quo. Okay. It is your self-immersion into that vision that will spur you into action. Today, if you don't love Biafra so much, if you don't love Biafra so much that you are ready to give up your life for it, then there's nothing anybody can convince you to do that you are going to do, other than trying to save your behind and wait for others to pay the price for you to come in and enjoy. So you have to love your purpose. Okay? You have to love Biafra so much you are willing to give up your life for it. So those people lack, I always say, lack character. They lack purpose. They don't have they're men without vision, because that vision, you know where you are heading to, and you want to reach that destination. You know, when you reach it, everything will be better. You have a future for yourself, for your family, for your children, for your children's children onwards. So those people are men who just like the here and now, what they can benefit today. So that's why I won't say that. I won't call them boss. They're just men without character.
I was saying that they actually never saw the essence or the need to actually fight for Biafra, because they actually felt that maybe they never felt that it was necessary to actually fight, based on the fact that they have been slaves for a long time until their independence, and they have resolved to actually accept their fate of them being slaves to the British. And so they just felt it's not a war that is possible to win or something. What do you think about that?
Well, other than that, actually, one of the most important aspects of fighting for freedom is freedom itself.
Mm.
Okay, when you think you have the freedom you enjoy at the moment is good enough for you, then you have not experienced the limitless how limitless freedom really is. We say those freedom and liberty is better than any amount of money, because with liberty, with freedom, you can create a future that is more deserving of for you and your family. Okay, so
okay.
So those are.
Okay, let me ask you this question now.
Wait, those who are only concerned with the here and now don't understand that the freedom is more important than life itself. Because when you are tied down to one thing, just sitting down there doing the same thing over and over and over again, you are confined. You don't have the freedom to create. You don't have the freedom to live the kind of life you want to live. You don't have the freedom to expand beyond yourself, to become what you ought to become. The Biafra could become a dominant world power in the future. But when you agree to be stifled in everything you do, and you sit down there and listen to what someone else tells you to do, your Nigerian government tells you to do, then you have succumbed to the desires of a foreign entity.
I'm going to be asking you this question as soon as we come back from this brief break again. Then Biafrans will start calling in, those ones who want to call in, and those ones who want to send their questions. If you want to call in, you can call in with the number. You see the number on the screen, +212 707 898 194. Now, the question I'm going to be asking you is this. We had people, as you said, then who were actually afraid of joining the army. But there was something unique you talked about last time. You were desiring to look for where to join a camp to fight. Now, we want to know what actually motivated you, and at that age, to actually think of fighting for your nation. When we come back with this, this break, where you're going to answer that question quickly. And of course, somebody here is saying, Mercy Walla is saying that, are we not exposing our tactics by making the people understand that we are going to use the guerrilla warfare or something like that? But anyways, the main question here would be that what propelled you, and are we exposing our tactics by saying that we're going to adopt guerrilla warfare? Right back when we are back from this little break. Thank you.
Okay.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the Messiah, and Simon Ekpa, the John the Baptist, is the voice. Simon Ekpa, water is the code.
Simon Ekpa, Nati Kanu. Simon Ekpa, Nati Kanu. I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa. Simon Ekpa, I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa, Nati Kanu. Simon Ekpa, Nati Kanu. I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa, I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa.
Welcome back, everyone. saw those lovely kids. I just want to play them over and over and over and over again. Lovely kids. Now, please, if you have a question, you can forward your questions. You can send them by messages, or you can call in +212-707-898-194. But if you don't want to call in, you can see the number is scrolling also on your screen. You will see that it's scrolling there. You can see it on your screen. You can call out the number if you want to call in, or you want to ask a question, just forward it. But Chief, you said something critically last time. Now, what held you to desire to fight for your nation?
At that age, at that age, I was more impressed because of the study of history. I was enamored by the historical lesson I learned about Carthage, Hannibal of Carthage. I was impressed by Rome, Scipio Africanus, the story of Roman Empire. I was impressed by Alexander the Great. You see, that's why I say we today, they don't teach you our history anymore. So we learn history about all these great warriors, great men of ancient history. Hannibal, Alexander the Great, Cyrus the Great, what are all the empires that came before our modern time. So I always looked. I saw this. I used to draw pictures of their, the pictures we saw, how they looked in those days, the different, military gear they wore. So it always occurred to me, wow, I'd like to be a military officer. So when the war came, you see, so that desire was already in me, that I want to be a warrior. I want to be in a position where I can lead men to battle. I already had that in me because of history. So war started, even though at that age, I saw that as an opportunity that I made all the different efforts I made to join. Unfortunately, I was just too young to really, because they kept denying me, so go back and eat some more before they come back. So that's what motivated me. It's because of history lessons. That because when you learn about the history of civilization, right from Egypt to rise and fall of Egypt, rise and fall of Roman Empire, rise and fall of Carthage, rise and fall of the Mesopotamia. You talk about I've forgotten the other ones. Those are long time.
That means these people know that history has a way of affecting the people to fight for their rights. They decided to remove them from the curriculum.
Exactly. When you study history, you know what happened to previous people before you, because history often repeats itself. Okay? Yeah, we say that those who do not comprehend the chronological relevance of the concept of historical time will always remain the blind recipients of inevitable change. Okay? So you have to know your past in order to know the present. You have to know the present in order to know where you are going in the future. So when you don't know your past, you become a blind man heading into the unknown, because the future is unknown. But when you know your past and you understand the present, you can chart your direction for the future. Okay. That's why I said last time, what happened to the Assyrians? It's not only the Assyrians, also the Hittites. These are all civilizations that rose in terms of the past, but they were conquered by other more powerful civilizations, and they became they were made slaves, and eventually their language, culture, everything were obliterated. Today, they are nowhere to be found in history. They disappeared in the annals of history. They are nowhere. So, if we allow these people, the Fulanis, I mean, even the history of West Africa, even Nigeria, I don't know, they don't teach you because we had Banu Kanem, we had Oyo Empire, we had Benin Kingdom, we had Songhai Empire. All those are, you see, the advent of Islam into West Africa, how it travel, all the way from Timbuktu. All these people were nomadic people. The Fulanis, they have never had a centralized, had the urge to settle in one location. So they were just nomads roaming the Sahara. So that's why the Arabs Islamized them, and then they started making inroads even into Nigeria. Banu Kanem was an empire, and they started making inroads into the territory known as Nigeria today, and conquered Banu Kanem. And the only reason we are just lucky that they came to where you call the Middle Belt today. That's as far as they went. They couldn't penetrate past the Middle Belt to come to the south because of the terrain changed. Okay, because Sahara is an open desert. They can ride their camel. They can ride their camel. That was their like their vehicle for transportation to conquer other people. So they couldn't ride that in a forested area. So our forest was part of the handicap, or what handicapped them from making inroad into the south. Okay, so that's a good thing. So today, since our amalgamation in 1914, the British then came and lumped us together. We had nothing in common: culture, food, language, nothing. They came and lumped us together. That is the one thing they shouldn't have done. If they had made us three separate countries, Ududuwa, the North, and the East, as it was before independence, because before independence there were three regions. Before the Midwest was created in 1963, there were three regions: the North, West, and Eastern region. Then in 1963, the Midwestern region was created. So if they had left us four different countries, that would have been the best thing, and there would have been peace in our area today, because in 1960s every region was autonomous. Every region was autonomous.
Yes.
And Eastern Nigeria was so good. Well, we had Eastern Nigeria Development Corporation. We were the world's largest producer of palm kernels, palm oil.
Yes.
Okay, we started growing rubber plantations. We grew cocoa. The West was one of the greatest producers of cocoa in the world. The North was noted for groundnut then. You see, so the East, every region was responsible for its own development. Until after the coup, then Nigeria became a unitary government. That was the beginning of the end of Nigeria. Because if they had left us the way we were, Nigeria would have been a place where people can live and become enterprising. Yeah.
Wow, that's great. That's great. Back to the issue of the war and all of that, and the present day sabotage. Now let's look first, before we begin to go into the issue of sabotage fully. just briefly, I know we're going to be rounding up very soon. We have less than about 15 minutes to have you also. And
okay.
Messinwala says something. Are we not exposing? I hope our tactics are not being exposed to our enemies. Is that true? By talking about the Guerrilla?
No. A tactics is only a tactic, it's only a strategy. Okay. Even before you go to any war, you call you can declare your strategy. You say, okay, I'm going to fight you with guerrilla warfare. I'm going to fight you with limited limited force. Maybe it's just a combing exercise. Okay, combing exercise. It doesn't really tell you how you are going to carry it out. It's just a name. It's guerrilla warfare, but you don't know what my
what it contains.
what my strategy is going to be to execute that guerrilla warfare. Okay, so there are so many instruments I can use. I can. I'm not going to say the rest. I'm not going to. What I'm not going to reveal is, the different tactics that I may use, because there are so many things you can use in the bush, on the road, like I said before, roadside bomb and all that. But there are other instruments, natural instruments you can use in the bush to get to your enemy. Let me just say it like that.
Okay, thank you, Chief, for that. Now, one of the strategies that Ejiofor is using now as a means of sabotage, as an instrument of sabotage, is the tactics of blackmail. Now, if you look at his writings and all of that, he will tell you that Nnamdi Kanu is saying we should stop killing one another. When he has evidences, he knows that it is the Fulanis, the military, the Nigeria Caliphate military, that is actually coming into the land, bombing the marketplaces, killing our people with their militia called Ebubago and all of that, causing mayhem and killing. Yet, he kept on selling the narrative to the world that Biafrans are killing themselves. That is blackmail. Now, can you give us a scenario in the war, during the war, where such narrative was used against Ojukwu or against the people of Biafra?
Certainly. Remember I told you the story of the guy I met here in the United States from River State. Okay, that was blackmail. His people were blackmailed.
If you can say it again, so that those who were not here last week can remember the story, or those who were not here can know that.
Okay, so I met this guy from River State. When I arrived here to the university at Kansas State, he came. I was a semester ahead of him, so he came the next semester. So we became friends, and while we started talking to each other, then one day he told me that the Biafran army massacred his people. So that story, I have, had it on my mind or in fact, up to today, because until I joined the military, the U.S. military, finished my training, learned about, stages of war. War is a dirty game, what the other forces can utilize in order to discourage the other side from conducting the war. So after learning all these things, so it came to my realization that Nigeria utilized these guys. They wore Biafran uniforms, and when they took over the riverine areas, Port Harcourt, Bonny, and so on, all the river states areas. When they took over that area, they wore Biafran uniform and massacred a lot of people from that area, and then blamed the Biafran soldiers for doing that. So So this guy still had that in mind to confront me with it, that because they still have it against us that we massacred their people. But to me, I came to the realization, due to the nature of war, that was Nigerian soldiers that did that. And since then, that's a form of blackmail. Okay,
Very well.
that's a form of blackmail. So anything that Nigeria did in order to create a negative image about Biafran forces is a form of blackmail. Okay, so it happened a lot. That's why even telling them, like telling the South that they are not Igbos, is a form of blackmail.
Yes.
In order for them to support them, while we, those of us from the Southeast, came overseas to study, none of us were on scholarship, federal scholarship, even though we performed much better at school SAT. None of us were on scholarship. But this guy from Rivers State, he had a federal scholarship, because plus the other Northerners who were also at the school, all of them were on federal scholarship. But none of us from Southeast, so-called Southeast, were on scholarship. We're all private students, hustling and doing our best to get an education. So those were forms of blackmail that Nigeria used against us. And to connect it back to Ejiofor, war is a dirty game. It is not a game of someone who is a virgin. You must have tough skin. You must be blind to certain things that occur around you. Okay? You do things that are not very good when everything is done, said and done. And you look back and say, wow, did I really do this? But that's war. That is the state of mind that Biafrans must start to develop. War is not a game of a fickle mind. So Ejiofor blackmailing Nnamdi Kanu and the cause is just part of Nigeria's weapon to blackmail us. But we know who we are. We know the truth that Nnamdi Kanu spoke about before his rendition. And that truth continues. Okay? Just like Jesus said, if my disciple will hear my voice, those who are my true disciples, when they hear my voice, they will come. So that is the way Biafran struggle is. When you hear the truth and you have the spirit of Biafra in you, you will heed to the call to fight for the struggle. So Ejiofor can utilize any form of blackmail he wants to utilize and think that we are fools. We are no longer fools. We are not educated. We know the art of war. We know the art of sabotage. We know all these things. So it's not going to be effective anymore against us. Okay? So I'm only sorry for him, because eventually he's the one that's going to be at the losing end. Okay? So regardless of what Ejiofor does, on the legal aspect of it, Simon Ekpa is right to ask him to resign from the legal team, because you cannot mix light with darkness at the same time. Okay, either you're on the side of light or you're on the side of darkness. You cannot be in between. So Ejiofor should make up his mind and know which side where he stands. Either he's with us or he's not with us.
Wow. Thank you, Chief. Onyeka Chiku, you can call if you want to call in. You're asking if you can call. The line is open for anyone who want to call in. You can call in now because we're going to be rounding up very soon so that the Chief can actually have his time to do any other thing he wants to do today. Chief, I want to ask you critically because you said something. Ejiofor.
Okay, speak up a little bit louder. I can't hear you.
Yes, can you hear me now, please?
A little bit.
Okay, am I loud enough?
Not quite. Increase.
Okay, I think it's your network because I'm shouting.
Can you hear me? Am I loud enough?
Yes, you are very loud here. Very loud here. I'm almost shouting
but
here.
You're not. Okay. Go ahead. I can hear you a little bit.
Okay. Now, before I ask this question, I want to ask right now. I want to ask you what. Okay, I will ask you this question. Let me pick this call and know who is calling. Welcome to the program. This is Biafra Global Network, and you are on the NUGGET conference show. Please go on with your comment or question.
Mazi Kelechi, thank you so much. This is Emeka speaking.
Okay.
My greetings to our veteran greetings to you. Thank you for your explanation of things, getting us acquainted on certain things we are not sure about. My father was a guerrilla during the Biafra war. He told me many things. I know many things. I'm not part of the people that can fool. I know who I am. And I had my school in Ondo State, schooling and the hawking business. There are many things I encountered. I know what it means to be man in Nigeria. I got to know that there are some journalists trend to fabricate never happened stories, to speak against Igbo people, not to have our Igbo isolated. Many things. I'm telling you, that is why I'm really grateful for this why you tell us, because many false stories were concocted. Their memories, many people many never happened stories they fabricated against our people. Even one Yoruba guy that school in my locality, when he came, that 4 years of his course, he never go home. He was forced to ask me that most of the things they were told about our people, he never witnessed anyone. I said, I know. I also grew up in your land. I know many things. I know. So they fabricated many stories not to have our Igbo isolated, So I thank God for those who have realized the things and come up, And again, not everybody who bears your name in the police or army speaks your language are Igbos. I'm telling you, you have to know this. There are some Fulanis who grew up in our land. They are in police, bearing our names. I'm telling you, they are the people who cause internal division. When you come to bus stop, sometimes you meet some police person, the way your name, if you approach the person as an Igbo person, he will be very mad at you. You will say, Igbo people, you are too wicked. So wicked. This is what they want to achieve. This is what they want to achieve. I got this experience, Okay? So I'm trying to get people to know not everybody who speaks Igbo or in army, they're in government. Not only Igbo land, also in Yoruba land. Okay? Because this thing was planned in the 1950s. They have infiltrated our land with their that's why whenever they raise up a database system, that system they will reject it, because that base system will go deep through DNA tests to fish all the infiltrated blood out. Imagine a contractor for how many years without database system. That's why they whenever they say about they will reject it. So I know who I am. I know what happened. I know everything. Okay, coupled with the research I've made so far. Person like me Ejiofor cannot fool. Since many long ago, I know about Ejiofor, but when I look at our spokesperson, Mark Damon, I have learned a lot from him. He's a great man that every of us should be proud of. He never strike. He will allow you to come so that you get every evidence. Because if you strike that moment, you block other evidences. So I have learned a lot from him, and I was greatly the Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They are the best thing that happened to our generation. And anybody who is not coming close to them is missing a lot. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mazi. You have made so many points. It's unfortunate that our guest, we have lost him for him to respond. But we appreciate you for your comment, and you have made some vital, at least you have confirmed also the carnage of Sabotage. Thank you so much, Mazi. Thank you for calling. Thank you so much. Yes. So please, the line is open. Okay. Oh, you want to say something? Oh, sorry about that. Sorry about that, Mazi. Sorry. Actually, I didn't know you want to say, but you can still call back if you want to say something. Again, if you actually have something else to say, please call back, Mazi Onyekachukwu. So, welcome to the program. This is Biafra Global Network NUGGET Conference. You are online, you are live. Please go on with your comments or statement. Please, you can go on. I think it seems your network signal is there's a problem with the network. So, can you hear me? Okay, we've lost that call. And please, you can call back. You see, the truth about it is that every form of sabotage. Our guest said that in those days it was actually not money that was propelling them to sabotage. And I wanted to ask him, what then was their propelling? What was the propelling factor? What was propelling them to actually go into sabotaging? Since there were no monies to throw around those days for such kind of, it was not actually known. Okay, yes. Our guest just sent a message that his phone overheated and then it's shut down. So hope we're going to have him some other time when he's going to be free to actually continue his thoughts on this matter. So we hope to have him one of these days. I want to say the line is open anyways. Okay, please do. If in case he comes on, he's trying to reconnect. So he has sent a message. He's trying to reconnect with his pad and all of that. So we have the call returning. I think it's from Onyeka still. Please, all right, you can go on, please. You can go on.
Mazi, please, I'm so sorry for calling back. There's something important I want to tell you.
Yes,
please.
Actually, yes.
Mazi, I can speak in Emeka.
Yes.
We should also look into the abatement by Nigerian mainstream media. Okay, their complicit is very deep and gross. I'm saying they don't analyze issue. They're supposed to be analyzing the court judgment, inviting other past attorney generals and other lawyers. This is what they're supposed to do. By so doing, they will draw attention, and look at the killings in our land. None of them reports it. We just have to ignore this. Okay, they don't report the killings in our land, the bombing of the market. No Nigerian mainstream media reports it. This is a gross abatement. Yes. Okay, that's why I'm saying. Look at the people who are involved in crime against humanity, against all indigenous people, the journalists, the politicians, the acclaimers of God without godliness, and the Fulani Caliphate. Okay, I'm telling you, these are the people. Journalists playing what role against our people? Journalists. Okay, look at all the killings in our land. None of them are reported. Okay, there was a time during the Fulani unknown gunmen were killing police. 3 unknown gunmen were gunned down because they were masked. They were Fulanis. No Nigerian media reported. I have their videos during the during the campaign of Anambra election that saw Soludo as a winner. No Nigerian media reported. Many things like that. We're not paying attention on this. Okay? And whenever things happen against, whenever anything that they use against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu or IPOB or Biafra, they will rush to report it to that investigation. Gulak was killed over there. They quickly report and accuse IPOB with that investigation. And later, he found out it was Fulani people. They did not return their reportage. When Methodist head was abducted, BBC was accusing IPOB, killing IPOB. When the man came out and gave testimony and called the Nigeria terrorists and with collaboration with Nigerian ministry, they did not report it, they did not report their reportage. So the abatement is too much, the sabotage is too much. We have to focus on this media, tell them to know, we know what they're doing. We never forgive any Nigerian media. I'm telling you, Nigerian media reporters, their complicity is gross. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mazi Onyekachuku. You have made some very, very critical points. Our guest is back. I think it's now for us to actually have him. I think maybe he has heard some of the things that I said so far, or maybe not. But basically, anyways, sir, you are welcome back. You're
Thank
welcome
you.
back.
I didn't hear what you said. My phone shut down.
Yes. Mazi Onyeka, I think you are gone, right? Okay, he's gone. Actually, I would have wanted him to make but he was actually talking about he was actually talking about basically looking at the sabotage, and he made references to some other things that he experienced, based on that, what they have tried to feed the people on, the wrong information, trying to sabotage them, all these things. Now, I want to ask you this critical question. Now, you said something, you said that the people then were not propelled, their sabotaging was not propelled by what they were going to get. The money is coming from either Nigeria government or something, because I don't think there was room for that anyways, because it was just a quick one and everything was just happening the way. But some people the war was already on, and some people were sabotaging within. Now, please, Can you tell us, what do you think was propelling them to sabotage from within?
Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yes, very loud and clear. Yes, we can.
I think one of the things I will think made them to sabotage us is lack of understanding.
Okay.
Lack of vision.
Okay.
Because maybe they did not understand what the goal of war. They didn't, because before you enter into a struggle fighting for a war like that, it requires the sanitization of the people, of the population. But when the war came, it came very suddenly. You have to campaign first among the population, for the population to understand the reason why you are going to war.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that the masses the population will support you.
Yes.
But in our case, there was no
room
campaigning.
for
that. Exactly, because the war was brought to us unexpectedly, and it was an act of self-defense on our part to fight back.
Complete self-defense.
So, yes. So if someone's brain does not connect at that point, that you are only fighting for self-defense, without which you will be overrun and probably your tribe annihilated. So, some people are slow.
Yes.
To come to a realization of things. That's why you will call them stupid. Because a stupid person is somebody who is slow to learn. These people are people who, when something happens to them, they will see the thing happening to them, but they still fail to understand, they conceptualize what is happening to them. When someone has killed you and massacred you and massacred your people, do you say, oh, I have to fold my arms and let that person just overrun you? When the same people bring that killing rampage to your doorstep, are you going to fold your hands and say, come, take my life? So you are not going to. Only a stupid person will just lay down like that and let himself be overrun. So a reasonable person will start to fight back. You are not going to take over my land. You are not going to take over, kill my brothers, eliminate, and then you think you want my women, our women. Okay, so why not produce your own development? Why not stay in your land where your land is equally good if you develop it? Why do you want my land? Because you think people here are enterprising, so you want to come down here. Stay where you are, develop your own land. Those are the things that make some people don't come to that realization soon. Because once bitten, twice shy. You don't let somebody keep killing you, and then you look the other way. Only a stupid person will do that. And Biafrans are not stupid. The majority of Biafrans are not stupid. So those handful of people who are attracted by what is happening on the other side are just very stupid people. They will never change, even if you kill all members of his or her family. They will never change, because what is attracting them is that little benefit they are gaining in the moment. Okay, that little benefit they are gaining seems the world to them, so they don't want to give it up for the unknown. Only a visionary, only a person with discernment is a futurist. Okay, because he knows what lies ahead is greater than what is in the past. Okay, Biafra, what lies ahead of Biafra is greater than what happened in the past and is happening today.
Now, I want to ask this. This should be about the last question. From Onyekachi was actually talking about media propaganda and all of that, and critically, of course, my questions today were supposed to be on different platter, and I wanted to bring it segment by segment based on the kind of sabotage that Ejiofor has actually displayed. Now, one of the sabotage here is Ejiofor's stealthy, way of penetrating the media, using the media as a means of carrying out his propaganda and his false narrative of what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents and what Biafra actually represents. Now, definitely every reasonable people understand that when you are going to get your freedom from people who are shrewd, people who are cruel, and people who are heartless, you must exude force to do that. Which means that anybody who is going to say that to get freedom from people like the Fulanis, the nomads, and the illiterates, and Britain that has been forceful all these years, you're actually going to get it diplomatically or get it by talking. That person is making a mistake, because you can't get freedom from people who have actually forcefully held you down, forcefully, and refused any act of allowing for any discussion, resisting every form of having such kind of opportunities. You think you're going to get your freedom by having that kind of platform. Now, there's one critical avenue through which Ejiofor has utilized all this while. He has a YouTube channel, he has Facebook, he has another some of these e-frogs, some of their platforms being used as a means of his propaganda, which is the media. Now, of course, this same tactics also was used by the British, the head of the slavery and subjugation program against the indigenous people, trapped in the contraption Nigeria. Now, Britain used it using the BBC, to actually do that during the war in 1967. And today, Ejiofor too is actually using the concept of the media as a means of carrying out his own, betrayal, sabotage, and all of that. Now, what is the similarity between the blackmail and the sabotaging of the Biafra people by BBC in the 70s or in the 60s, late 60s during the war, and Ejiofor now using that as a means of trying to penetrate the heart of the people, so that, because if you look at it critically, you discover that out of all the lawyers that are actually fighting, going for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he is the only one who comes to create some kind of scene in the media. He wants to create, aside just giving the reports, which the report also is another way of creating a scene. Others come and give you straightforward report, and that is it. But he comes with tactical, devious character, you know, to actually hoodwink the people, to actually have their minds centered around him as the only source of whatever information he's cooking to give to the people. Now, what is the role of the media? What was the role of the media, and BBC especially, in destroying the image of Biafra in 1967? And how do you relate it to the role of the media today as Barrister Ejiofor is using against the people of Biafra?
Okay. BBC was an instrument of disinformation for Nigeria because they didn't want Nigeria to deteriorate. So they did everything in their power to dish out disinformation about Biafra. Even when the pictures from other media companies from different nations were showing just of Biafran suffering, BBC was blind to that. So media campaign is always an instrument of war because you have to use it to portray the worst about your enemy. We didn't have widespread media outlets during the war, other than Radio Biafra and Okokondem, who was so good. Okay, so much of the world really didn't know about our struggle. But Nigeria, with their media, with BBC, they were able to prevent, because of their campaign, to prevent the other nations from intervening in Biafra. Compared to today is no longer the same as it was in 1960s, 70s, 60s, because we have the internet, we have all the different outlets today, like US now. We can talk other nations. We are all over the world. Anybody from anywhere in the world. So, and what you call it, Ojukwu writers, everybody on the internet.
Ojukwu writer is actually an evil platform used by Ejiofor and
okay. I didn't know that.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay, but the legitimate ones, like Master Simon Ekpa, is there. So all these things, all these mediums are being picked up by foreign media sources. So they no longer hold a monopoly to the media war. So Ejiofor can do whatever he wants to portray, but the truth is that there are many of us online also who are going to project the proper image of what the struggle is all about. The only thing is that, like I said before, he needs to decide where he stands. Either he's standing with Biafrans or he's on the side of Nigeria, so that he will be treated exactly like an enemy should be treated. He cannot be here and there, one leg here, one leg on the other side. He has to make up his mind where he stands. So if we have what I would suggest is, once he makes those statements, once he goes to those media outlets to make his statements, we should be prompt to respond. Okay, we cannot let any statement he makes to go unchallenged. We should be prompt to respond to him immediately. That's the way you counter him. You counter him immediately, and I think Master Simon Ekpa does that very effectively. Okay, so we cannot let anything lie down. Anything they say, even Nigeria, you cannot let anything they say to settle a second without responding to it.
Mm.
Okay, that's the way you counteract anything they are doing. Any other thing? Did I answer?
Very
The
well,
question?
very well. You did answer it very, very well. We have been speaking with Chief Emeka, a veteran of both of war and also a professional. He's also a military personnel, of course, of in the U.S. Army, in Navy, U.S. Navy. Am I right? Yes, U.S. Navy,
Yeah.
and all of that.
Yeah.
He is well versed and experienced. He has been in the system. He fought during the war. He also is standing tall for Biafra at this time. He has been speaking with us on his experiences. He was here last week. For those who were not here last week, he was here last week Saturday, and today he's here again he gave his time to actually speak to you, speak to every one of us Biafrans, so that we'll be able to get the details of the experiences and how he can help us to understand what we need to do today. Before he does his closing remark and how he's going to advise us on how we're going to keep up the fight and make sure we get victory this time, I would want to also make you understand that it is very important that we all learn from everything you hear, get a message out of it and utilize it. Every message you get is necessary for your now action so that we can better our future experience or our future results. And that is why we're doing what we're doing. Please, as you are watching, it is very important that you like this video so that everything he has spoken to us, people also, would also hear them and also utilize them as a means of taking action. Remember, we are supposed to comb the whole sphere of the nations of the world, pass our information and our messages to them. And the only way we can do that successfully is to have you like this video, circulate it on all your social media platforms, and also subscribe to the channel so that we can spread our tentacles and have opportunity of conquering the lies out there with the truth that we preach. Chief Emeka has spoken extensively on these issues, and of course, we're going to be having him once a while, once we're able to confirm, and the program we're going to be having, every Saturday. And if he's available to say some things that relate to some things we want to hear from him at a particular time, he has just really given his time this period and for Biafra, and we appreciate him for standing tall, for being there at all times, and for standing with Biafra at this crucial time, giving his experiences, teaching us the things we need to know, and telling us the things we need to hear. And this is very, very important. Also, we had Pastor Ike. Pastor Ike has been here, but his network was giving him some problems. But hopefully, we would be able to have him next week. Since he's not here today, we'll be able to have him next week also. As we have heard from Chief today, we're going to hear from Pastor Ike tomorrow. On next week, Saturday, on the NUGGET Conference Show, 1 p.m. Biafra time. NUGGET Conference Show is every Saturday, 1 p.m. Biafra time, where we feature veterans, both of war and otherwise, and people who experienced the war, whether civilians or military personnel, or people who were there right in the action, those who actually were involved in active service, and those who were also fleeing and having some kind of experiences, whether directly or indirectly. So every Saturday we have people, and by God's grace, next week Saturday we're going to have Pastor Ike here. If Chief would have his time too, he can also join us. But in case he doesn't have his time, then of course we're going to have him some other time when he has the time. But we're going to have Pastor Ike here. Since he is not here today, he was not able to actually connect. He was actually here, but the network signal was throwing him out. You discover you were not hearing him. So please like this video, share it on all your social media platforms, and please subscribe to this channel. It is very important. We have to dominate the media space with truth, and the only way we can do it is to spread our messages all around the world. Thank you, Chief. Please give us your closing remark and what you think we should do right now, and how Biafrans should understand what is going on and what they should expect. We have 107 days to enter, 106 days into our freedom. Please speak to us briefly, sir.
Okay. Thank all of you for listening to this My advice to all of you today will be the most important thing is to stay healthy. Whatever you have, make sure you have food. You have drinking water. Okay? Make sure you have food. Even if you have the last money in your pocket, make sure you have food. Do not stay by yourself. Make sure you always have someone with you. Okay? Make sure you always have someone with you. Mind what you say or who is around you, because you don't know unless someone you are very sure of. Because one thing we cannot afford again is to have a lot of saboteurs in our midst. Whoever is not for you is against you. Whoever is not for Biafra is for Nigeria. If you love Biafra and you love the hope, the dream of a just society, because Biafra represents the building of a just society, of freedom, of liberty, and of the pursuit of happiness for yourself, your children, your children's children. If we share these dreams, then you will be for Biafra. We have spent more than 50 years in Nigeria. Nothing has worked. You cannot keep repeating the same thing over and over, and you think something is going to change. It's not going to change. Nothing in Nigeria is going to change in 1,000 years. Either you share what Biafra represents and fight for it and leave Nigeria, or Nigeria is going to overwhelm you, and there is nothing they are going to have you do except be their slave. Especially the men of Biafra. You must rise up. You must support this struggle. Your future lies in it, not in Nigeria. Okay, so we must fight bravely. We must fight with our brains. We must fight with all might, and God being on our side, we will triumph. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Chief Emeka. Thank you so much. We are delighted. In fact, this advice you just gave to us now is worth $1 million, worth more than $1 million, worth so much. And we are grateful for your advice. And of course, Biafrans have heard, and we're going to keep to that because we know that you are speaking from experience, the experience that is needed at this critical time so that every one of us can be part of the liberation. Thank you so much, Chief. Let's allow you to go so that you'll be able to do the things you need to do for the rest of the day. We have taken your 1 hour plus now because you have been in the studio for over for 2 hours now. Yes, for 2 hours. You came in before the time, about 10 minutes before the time.
My pleasure.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Thank you so much. We'll also, whenever we call you up, please, you also prepare for us because we want to hear more and more. And more. Yes, sir. Thank you so much. Please, let's say hi to Chief as he goes and as he leaves. Thank you so much, Chief. Okay. We are honored to have you. Thank you. Now, as we go on, please, Biafrans, you have to understand something critical. And Mrs. Adaza actually said something here, which I want to actually look at. She said she also experienced the war, and she also experienced the war, and that during the war, she lost about 13 people, 13 members of her family, and that is wow. That is wow. 13 members of her family, and so painful, very painful. I also witnessed the horror of Biafran war. You know, she was right there in the action too, and she experienced it. Honestly, it is really painful. We say for everyone who lost a loved one. I lost also people that I hear they died, you know, during the war. You know, so we every Biafran, directly or indirectly, somehow you were affected by the war because you lost somebody or so. You know, if you go check through, you're going to see that. As it says, Kelechi, the information we got from Ikenga said that Ejiofor will be granted. You know that Ejiofor actually is not very fluent in English. He only speaks what he actually, and when he's speaking, he's always not being able to express himself very well. So all he has to do is to go and cram some few words and then play around those few words, you know, to around Biafrans, and then of course. But now for him to effectively actually sell his lies very well and the things he has designed and planned, based on of course, he has to re-strategize based on the fact that he has been knocked down and he has been exposed. He needs to still keep in touch with the grassroots, the people who actually require to hear the language, and as a sentiment to penetrate their heart. He wants to actually keep on that narrative by using the same language to actually keep them down there, you know, to believe in him still. Well, he's always going to succeed. You can always succeed to deceive the people, you know, some of the times, but not all the time. And so we are waiting for him in that ground where he's going, as Eze have said, you know, and we are watching. We're waiting for him there. We'll meet him there. Let him go. We are ever ready. We're going to be waiting for him. Whether he likes it or not, he's gone. And he's gone for good and for evil for himself, for good for us. So everything he wants to do, he's already dead on arrival. Every of his actions are dead on arrival. He's greeting our guest, God bless you, and of course we thank him for actually having his time to speak with us. He has spoken so many, you know, so many things that we need to know. And remain blessed to our guests. Thank you so much, Mrs. Adazion. And as it says, Ejiofor is trying to speak English. He now want to lie with Igbo to confuse his e-frogs. Yes, that's what he wants to do. He wants to confuse those e-frogs and those gullible people in Biafra land who would actually listen to him, because it is a strategy, you know, using the language. There's a sentiment here, you know, about using your language to talk to your people. There's a sentiment attached to it. It has an emotional and a sentimental approach to actually selling your desire, or your expectation, or your intention, you know, because it helps you achieve your intention faster than using a foreign language. And of course, for those people who don't have basic understanding of who are not, you know, in understanding, so it has a way of being able to achieve that. So we know what he wants to do. We understand his strategy. We want to let him know that we know all of those strategies, and we are waiting for him. Let him come in that way, whenever they want to do that program, and let him come, and then we're going to expose him more, because the truth about it is that whatever he says or whatever action he takes will expose him further, will keep exposing him. When the gods after you, they will make you dance naked. You know, you must dance. You know, they first make you go mad, and at that point of madness, you keep saying things you're not supposed to say. So he has to. People like I don't like calling their names. That guy in South Africa, that E-Frog in South Africa. What he needs to do, because the gods also must use him to push Ejiofor out, push him out, so that he will come to dance more, dance according to the madness that have come upon him, and then he's going to say so many things that we would also use as a means of getting the truth from him. You know, so let him keep dancing, and of course, the E-Frog in South Africa and all of that will help him to dance more. They are going to play the music for him as the gods have prescribed, as the god Chikokike have prescribed, so that he will dance and dance and dance until he's finally destroyed. He's going to expose himself further. Emmanuel Afure says, thanks so much, Mr. Kell and our veteran. Please, sir, where was Midwest created from? Was from West or from old Eastern region? Midwest was part of West and part of the Middle Belt. That's the Northern region, part of them and part of the West, you know, together. You know, they were brought together from there, from all those corners. So we have just make a little research about it. You see that most of the nations were cut from the West and also from the North, you know, to join as Midwest. You know, this is just a way of trying to mix people and make them lose their identity and give them a different brand, so that they will not identify themselves with other people who are from the same place with them, so that you'll be able to cut them off and then put them in that disarray of concentrating on themselves rather than concentrating on nationhood. You know, Mr. Dazan says, words of wisdom, tell foolish, obedient, mad people everywhere. Those guys are really mad. Anyways, I believe that this message will reach them. So as we share around, we're going to have them listen to it. When they listen to it, some of them will get repented, some of them will get converted, some of them will be deep more into their foolishness. And then they will also, because of course, truth does two things. It confirms and saves. It also destroys those whose hearts have been, turned to stone. Those who have made themselves evil towards truth. So John Almeida, thank you, our Father. Yes, so to our veteran chief Emeka, thank you so much, sir, for that time you gave for this program. And Mr. Dazan says only way for Ejiofor is down. That's it. There's no other way for him. It's just down. He just has to go. He has no choice. He will keep going down. And the more he exposes himself, the more he will go down. He has to keep exposing himself to go down. Chibike, thank you. Good afternoon from here too. Thank you, Chibike. And John Almeida, Autopilot Media should broadcast Ejiofor's interview to avoid us from going to Radio Biafra. We shouldn't give views. We can't. We don't need to broadcast. John, you should understand this. How can we bring such lies on our platforms to propagate? We can't propagate. All we need to do is when they do their stuff, we just we hear from their lies platform, get the information from their platform of lies, pick what you need to pick, and then we analyze it. You just send the part you need to send and go. But we cannot broadcast feature. My God, do you know what you're asking, John? That is critical. Bring lies and feature them on our platforms. Oh my, that would be very, very. Let's get them, allow them do what they have to do on their platforms, and then we extract from their platforms and then use it to actually, they know that they would always want to publicize it because they know that you would actually want to hear from them. So it is another way we help them, promote them in that regard. Yes, I understand what you're saying, John, just to avoid them giving them views, but we'll help them view what they are doing. Yes, Mr. Dazan said it. Those that the gods want to destroy the first make go mad. So that's what he has to do. He has to keep appearing to display his madness, and then we begin to extract the content of his madness and begin to express and analyze them to prove that this is madness in reality. This is madness originale, according to the French people. La madness, la originale. Those days in school, then we, when you want to just play, with the, all this la this, la that in French, that when we were learning the French language, they tell you la this, la that, la is it on tableau, all this stuff we learn in French, those days. So it's la madness, la originale. That means his madness is a real one, the original madness. Azu 809515159. My brother, you are doing great work. Please keep it up. Oh my God. we have Pastor Ike. Oh my God, Pastor. In fact, I was already saying that we're going to feature you for next week, since you are not here, and all of that, and you are here now. And I know that our people, we're already taking about 2 hours, but let's see if we can just have a brief time with you. Then prepare for next week. Prepare for next week. I actually want to take you straight on the line because I actually took Chief Emeka through the angle of the side of professionalism based on his participation in the war, fighting directly, and as a military person. Asked him technical questions based on that. And of course, I'm going to ask you, because the questions I'm going to ask you also are going to be related to every aspect of what happened, from your perspective, of the war, because you actually saw the war, you actually experienced the pain, you actually felt every activity of the war. We have been looking at the issues of betrayal from the media angle, from the point of what they want to achieve, like Barrister Ejiofor, using the media as a tactic, using religion as a tactic, using his self-gain, what he wants to achieve as a which is propelling him and all of that. And of course, the cost of selling a particular narrative to continue a system that is favoring him. Because everybody who actually fought one way or the other whether for the side of the government or for the government of the caliphate or the government of the zoo, or those who fought on the side of Ojukwu and the government of Biafra, actually have something in mind to make sure that they sustain what they believe in. Now, the issue of media, media as a tool is basic, because now you can see the message that just came in now, which of course have been circulating since morning, that Ejiofor will be going to Radio Biafra to converse with the people, the Igbo language. Sentiment. Now, the sentiment, the tribal flavor, using language as a sentiment. What role do you think such kind of sentiment plays in the activities of betrayal?
Of course, a very, very crucial role. You see, once you are a betrayer, you use sentiment, especially once you've been caught out like this. You will try to use sentiment to gain approval, to gain popularity, because you want to appeal to those who hear your language. You see, this issue of betrayal with the Igbos, it is a very, very sad thing. It's a sad development. And all these traits of betrayal, it started right after the war. And how did it start? Because Fulani used operant conditioning, which was a theory developed by a behavioral scientist called Skinner, Dr. Skinner, in the 20s. And you use operant conditioning to condition somebody or someone or a group of people to behave in a certain way. And what they used as an operant conditioner was hunger. Anybody that is hungry for a very, very long time, it changes the psychic and the personality and the values of that individual. So right after the war, the psychic and the personality and the value systems of our people was Rabadashide, according to Sabotage. He said it's Rabadashide, that is non-existent. And this kind of behavior to survive. Do anything to survive. Pull anybody down to survive. Pull anybody down to climb up. And that is how it started. And my happiness is that there is hope. There is hope in the sense that we are going to use orientation programs and the mind surgery, which yourself and Prince Nizam is doing on your channel, to try and tell to our people that, look, all this kind of things is vanity. Selling your brother to climb is vanity. Selling your brother to enemy to get on top is vanity. Selling your brother to the enemy to be relevant is vanity. And our people need to understand this. Because there is an indelible history of betrayal in our lineage. I take you to our late hero, Ojukwu. Remember, when Ojukwu came back from exile, he didn't want to have anything to do with politics. Nigerian politics was elemental to him.
Yes.
I mean, look at all the calibers, all the personalities, all the individuals whom he went into politics with. They were elementals to Ojukwu. But it was our people that pushed Ojukwu into politics, not for his own gain, and not for the gain of the Igbo race, but for their own personal agenda. I.e., Ojukwu is contesting for presidency, at least they will get governorship, they will get a commissioner, they will get this, they will get that, for their own personal agenda. Even they knew how much Fulani hated Ojukwu, how much they wanted to humiliate Ojukwu. They pushed him and pushed him into politics. He agreed to go into politics. And that was when Peter Obi embraced Ojukwu. He pretended to share Ojukwu's values. And what are those values? Ojukwu will never stand to see any Igbo person humiliated. Ojukwu will never stand to see any Igbo race humiliated, maltreated in any way. Ojukwu hated oppression and any form of injustice. And these were the values he demonstrated and lived out before Peter Obi. And Peter Obi pretended as if he was singing from the same hymn book with Ojukwu. Ojukwu adopted him as a son and handed the Igbo mantle to him, charging him always to protect the interests of the Igbos. Now, in 2003, Ojukwu contested for the presidency under Aga, and he specifically handpicked Peter Obi as the governor of Anambra State. Now, remember, if we go down memory lane, that Peter Obi victory in Anambra State in 2003 was truncated by PDP. And it was Ojukwu who swam all the legal oceans, went through all the legal dynamites to get Peter Obi reinstated as governor of Anambra State. And even with his clashes with Andioba, Ojukwu was there to support him. But how did Peter Obi pay Ojukwu back? And how did he keep the promise he made to Ojukwu to always protect the interests of Ndi Igbo? You all had the Owazurike's account of what happened. Is that not betrayal? When Ojukwu was sick and his own son was the governor of Anambra State, bring that money, let's fly this man out. He became Papa Nyanya. Ojukwu, a father, our hero, was subjected to a painful death because of ingratitude and betrayal. While he was still the governor of Anambra State, the killing in all, the killing of Biafra was during Obi's reign. It's something that is very, very vivid and fresh in the memories of Biafrans. The state of Anambra today, somebody who was opportuned to be highly educated, opportuned to come abroad to the heart of the first world, lived here, did business abroad, knows how people live abroad, know how transport systems work abroad, and what did he leave behind for Anambra people. Now let's talk about his achievements. I'm not a politician. Please, I'm not here to get any political point. I'm here to say things as I saw it as it is. And I do not have any gain from what I'm saying. Let's talk about Obi's achievements in office.
6, 5, 4.
Yes.
2.
He left significant amount of naira in the government coffer. Well done. Well done. The book of Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 to 30 tells you about the parable of the talent, where some guys were given money to trade, some traded, doubled, some traded, made profits. But there was this particular one that decided to bury the talent given to him. You left money for Anambra. Well enough. Money that was supposed to be used for infrastructure development. Money that was supposed to be used to develop Anambra. At this time, a bag of cement was between 350 to 400 naira a bag of cement. Roads were cheaper. Angle wires were cheaper. All the materials required for infrastructural development was cheaper. Now you left billions in account there. But today, a bag of cement is between 4,500 to 5,000 naira. Well, where's the wisdom? Where is the wisdom? Now we consider his Arabite closeness with Fulani. And you heard him say that his ADC when he was in office was Fulani from Kano. And everybody saw how he favored Fulani when he was in office. I have nothing against a decent Fulani man. But I have problems with those that want to subjugate the nation. Those that are killing people from north to south, west to east. And he even said that it's not in this race for the Igbo man. He said today, Peter Obi is still singing from his old hymn book. He is still painting on the same old canvas. Even in these 2023 political campaigns, which they are doing now, where are his people? His people are not in the eastern part of Nigeria. His people are in the north. That's why he feels comfortable. That's why he receives applause where nobody knows it. My people, is that not be true? We're talking about Ifeanyi. But when you trace the locus of the history of our race, you see this betrayal. Even in the families, it's there. And sometimes this is brought about by jealousy. Jealousy. And it's an issue that we need to address through severe, thorough, and detailed orientation of our people. We need to snap out from betraying each other. We need to snap out from selling out each other. It's too much. And it's thinking, absolutely thinking. It makes makes us look ridiculous and stupid. It betrays our intelligence as a people, which everyone knows that we have. And this seems to be worse in Anambra. Anambra is the first son of Igbo man. Ekewoke n'ala Igbo today, Anambra ga-ebu ụzọ para. And they have that respect. But if the first son then becomes an efulefu, his position as the first son becomes irrelevant. Ejiofor has polluted the land. This is betrayal of the highest order. Betrayal of the highest order. I was listening to Master Simon's Ekpa's exposition, and goose pimple covered me from head to toe. Because when you've been suspecting somebody, and suddenly you hear this kind of information now, it's very, very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. And Mazen Nandekano is like a sheep that has just been led for slaughter. Just been led for slaughter. Those who were around him, that were supposed to be campaigning for him, fighting for him, are the ones leading him. But my own joy in all this is that Emelumala, Uche Chukwu ga-eme. Emelumala, Uche Chineke ga-eme. Emelumala, Uche Chineke ga-eme. Evil will always beget an evil person. And the same measure which you give to your fellow human being, that is the same measure that will be to you. The word of God says, touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Mazen Nandekano is an anointed human being. Mazen Nandekano is a prophet. And I'm so sorry for anyone fighting that man. Because he is an epitome of an innocent man. Thank you very much, my brother. Thank you very much, my people.
Oh, my. Pastor, you have just brought another perspective to this that's actually bringing up questions that I need to ask you. But this has set the ball rolling for next week, Saturday. Because of our time, we don't want to keep our people waiting for long. We are going to have you for next week, Saturday. Please, we want to have you for next week, Saturday, so that we can ask you questions. The audience also, I know from what you have said, they also have questions that we want to ask. And some will want to call in to ask questions or send messages of questions. You have raised so many vital points from what you have said, from the Ojukwu, to Ejiofor, and to the interests, between Ojukwu and Ejiofor and the Biafra people. And of course, regarding the war, regarding what we have now that we need to fight for, and so many aspects of, the angles that we have to this. And please, next week, Saturday, 1 p.m. Biafra time, we're going to have you here and we'll want to ask you questions and you are going to talk to us like a father you are. And definitely Biafrans will be expecting so much from you because you have given so much to keep us in that suspense. We are right now in suspense. We can just wait for next week Saturday to have you so that we can hear, because your passion and everything, the way you narrate stories and all of these, very, very touching and very, 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 very important for us to pass the messages to our people. Friends, please, we have to be here. Prepare your questions, prepare your observations, prepare your concerns. Next week Saturday, we're going to continue from this point. Narrative will continue here live on NUGGET Conference, Biafra Global Network, 1 p.m. Biafra time. We're going to have Pastor IK in the house, in the studio, to speak to us concerning these things and the way forward. Please don't fail. Keep it as an appointment. Keep it, write it somewhere in your diary, and we're going to have him, to be here. He has spoken for briefly because of the time. You're going to have more time with him next Saturday on the NUGGET Conference program, 1 p.m. Biafra time. Prepare yourself, prepare your friends, prepare your loved ones, prepare your enemies. Tell them to come. Prepare the enemies of Biafra. Tell them to come. We need them to come also. Yes, we need them to come because they need to hear. Sometimes maybe because they've not heard enough.
That's why the enemies.
Yes, they can begin to change. They can begin to understand, what we're saying. So prepare yourselves and prepare them also to be here. And we're going to have it great here next week, Saturday, on the NUGGET Conference here on Biafra Global Network. Thank you so much, Pastor IK. Thank you for giving us your submissions. We also want to thank Chief Emeka, who also gave us the perspective which he came from and all of that. We appreciate you, sir. Please.
Thank you so much.
Biafrans are saying thank you so much.
Thank you, Biafrans. And we'll see you next week. Keep strong.
Thank you so much.
God bless you all.
Thank you.
God bless you, Kelechi. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Now, Biafrans, that was something else. That was something else. But I want to appreciate you all for actually keeping fit and keeping the time. Even if we have gone, beyond our time, we still, of course, we are still here. Some of us are still here and listening strongly, to the point. So we want to thank you for actually keeping yourselves, intact in regardless of whatever, giving time to listening to this. We want to appreciate every one of you. Let me go to the message corner now and begin to read out our message before we round off quickly. Let me begin to point out Messi Mwala, Prince Joe. Thanks. Okay, Messi Mwala is responding to Joe's initial submission, that you have seen that I've displayed on the screen. Now let's look at Ejiofor is busy going meeting with governors without our leader Mazi. And usually, he is a busybody. He's a showbiz person. So, you know what I mean by showbiz. That's why he's displaying. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is off the way, so now he's the one shining. Using Mazi Nnamdi Kanu as a sign show of his shining. How? Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is trending. So because he is the one representing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he actually is going to capitalize on that as a means of trending and making himself. Remember, he was giving, when you make, sometimes, so there's this this talk about when you give a poor man something that is beyond him, that he has not been trained up, you have not trained somebody. When you train, when you give somebody who is poor something that you have not trained their minds to mature, to be able to handle, they will abuse it. Ejiofor was introduced to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He was nowhere. He was just there. And then he now began to see opportunities in IPOB and began to capitalize on that to actually trend, to make himself trend. And he saw another opportunity when they offered the opportunity of the kidnap of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and everything. He saw another opportunity to trend. That was why when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told him to tell everybody that Mazi Samanekpa should steer the ship until he's back, he rebuffed it. He resisted it quickly, and he now began to say things that he was not supposed to say, that he wouldn't say in his right mind when he's in right, because he's lost for power. He's lost for what he's going to gain. He's lost for fame, and all of that has beclouded his mind. And what he could say at that point in time, which I know when he had gone into himself, he would say, why did I say this? He said, over my dead body. And it will be according to his words. Because his dead body will be according to his words. It must be, definitely, And so, you see, so when people are looking for self-interest, when you give them something that is bigger than them, when they have not been able to train their minds to control that emotional side of them that actually talks about self-ego and all of these, they're going to abuse it because they would always look out for that ego and to showcase what they have and what they want to achieve for themselves. Happy to be here, Mazi. Martins Augustus. This is the first time I'm seeing you, Martins. Good to have you. Good to have you for joining us for the first time. Or maybe you have been joining, but you've not written before. Thank you so much for being here. Mrs. Adazan says, Pastor Ike, we don't mind answering for our sins, but Chike Dozie, Muhammad Abbas, Hope, Uzodima, Rochas, Okorocha, and all of them, not from Anambra. Okay? You say they're not. Oh my God. All right. So we are from Obris Dishes, which my Biafra people are like you. I can no longer trust anyone. Very scary, strange behavior everywhere. People be misbehaving, unbelievable. Yes, everywhere we have terrible attitude, and of course, the evil people have tried to corrupt the minds of people against even good people. That even when good people appear, you don't even know who is good and who is bad. You know, thank you for that for Miss. Thank you for that, Mrs. Dishes. Should I call it Mrs. Dishes? But it's Obris Dishes. That's the business name, you know. Good day. And she has not brought. I've not seen my ID anchor. I've not seen anything. So I'm reporting Obris Dishes to you. Now, all the promises, all the champagne, and the champagne I'm supposed to use to take this my, dish. I've not seen it. I don't think Pastor Livingstone too. I've not seen his own, because Pastor Livingstone was promised some dish too. He has not seen his own. Our guests here are supposed to have some dish. We have not seen. Obris Dishes is supposed to be supplying us, all of these, but we have not seen. So let's keep hoping that maybe we're going to eat it when we come to Biafra land. Let's keep hoping. Oga Karo has touched the law. Oga Karo. Oh my God, good man, David. Thank you for that. He's the brand ambassador of Karo. Okay, Oga Karo has touched the Lord's anointed. Yes, so he has actually touched the Lord's anointed, and definitely repercussion will always come. Despite all this, Bianca Ojukwu is an obedient horrible. Oh my God, that lady is repugnant. I don't want to talk about that. Such kind of smelling people, they are just terrible. Good job, Chief Emeka. Thank you so much, Mercy Wala, yes, to our guest, Chief Emeka. Thank you, Pastor. Remain blessed. To Iwune, from Iwune to Pastor IK. Of course, we have from Obris Dishes again. Bye from me here with my full house. I have listened a truthful person that made my day. So bye. Thank you, Obris Dishes, for that. And the make of tea has heard it. Thank you, sir. Martins Augustus. Okay, good to have you. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Martins. Please, we want to have more of you all times. 1 p.m. every day, Biafra time. We are here with different segments of program. Tomorrow we have the Back to Base program, where we're going to be talking Christian religion and other religions, and other, Christian religion talks about the religions designed and created by men around Christianity, making Christianity to look like a religion. And then we'll have to look at other religions and other factors, and that have to do with this. And then looking at the God religion, God himself, what God expects of us, and who the Godhead is. Remember, there have been some series of arguments about the Godhead. So we're going to be explaining these things, and I'm going to be giving you scriptural proofs, as I told you last week, that I'm going to be giving you scriptural proofs. Or Sunday, I told you on Sunday, that I'm going to be giving you scriptural proofs of the Godhead, the Son, who is God, and the Spirit, that is who is God also. That means making the Godhead, three persons making the Godhead, and how the Son became Christ, and then but still God. So we're going to understand all of those stuff in perspective, and so that our people begin to understand. Just come with a plain heart and come with a mind to search, because when we give you scripture, you go read it. Don't maintain what is in your head. Read scripture to understand if what is in your head is correct. So come with a mind to learn. Be submissive to learn new things. Somebody say you have to be fat. That's faithful. What's the A now? See, I've forgotten this thing. Reliable, and then teachable. That T on that fat is teachable. So you have to be teachable. So please come with that heart to learn, and we're going to learn tomorrow. 1 p.m. Biafra time on the Back to Base program tomorrow. And Prince Joe says, I will be there, my brothers, sisters. Thank you, BNG, for giving us much of your time to Biafrans. May God continue to grant you wisdom and courage. Thank you so much, Joe. Thank you. I say to that prayer. Thank you, Joe, for that prayer. And Messinwala says, good night, bye from here. Okay, Messinwala, you need to sleep, right? Okay, good night to you. Sweetly sleep and dream good dreams and have good revelation of inspiration from what you have learned today. Owen Palace says, thank you all for your good work. We love you all. No election in Biafra land. We move. Yes, so my brother, thank you, Owen Palace. no election in Biafra land at all. It's non-negotiable. You know, our freedom is non-negotiable. Wenwu, we have another Wenwu too. Is this the Wenwu I know, the Esther Wenwu? Is that Esther? This is your second one also. Thank you, Kelechi, too, for all the honors you are putting in this Biafra liberation. For all the hours, sorry, that you are putting in this Biafra liberation. God bless you abundantly. He said, thank you so much, Wenwu. Thank you for that prayer. Thank you. Ego Yibo. Ego Yibo. Oh my God. Ego Yibo. Thank you. Prince Joe, going to discuss gossip and personal queries with MNK, who is actually fighting for his life in DS. Oh my God, so painful and unfortunate in DSS John, and coming to tell us that he's very sound and very high in spirit. That man, I don't want to preach, please don't push me to start preaching now because time is against us. It's very unprofessional of Ejiofor, for his behaving like a lawyer. He's so inept. Now let me tell you something. Ejiofor is not a professional. He had an opportunity to actually excel beyond his capacity. He was given an opportunity, rather than building himself to fit in that level that has been given to him on a platter of gold. He actually could not grow himself, could not develop himself to come to that level. So his personality is still reduced or less, but his position was elevated based on recommendation and relationship. And so he is actually enjoying that position and abusing it because he's not able to develop himself to actually mature to the point of handling that opportunity granted to him. So that's the problem he has, and of course, we're going to bring him back. We're going to take him back there until he goes to learn. And let's pray that he doesn't get, let's just believe that he won't get consumed by it. And everything he has said will not work against him. And he will learn. He will learn and come back. What Pro Max to all the enemies of Biafra, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and the enemies of Biafra liberation. Diana, thank you. Ogun Biada. Okay, Diana, thank you for that message. And the last message I have here right now is from Mrs. Adaza, and she said, "It can't come from me and Mobry's dishes. Kelechi, get your seventh wife to make you some." Which my seventh wife again? Do I have one? I've not gotten one now. You're talking about seventh. Oh my! I've not gotten one now. Oh Lord have mercy. I've not gotten one, and you're talking about the seventh. Oh my God! Let me get one first, and then we can now decide. We can now, design, the process of making that one the seventh. We make that one the seventh, even if that one is the one. That's the concept here. Making that one the seventh, even if that seventh is the one, and that one is the seventh, and that seventh is actually that one. So that is very, very critical here. And we have to work on that. On that. So there's no seventh, even if there's a seventh that is the one, and that one that is described as the seventh. So we need that one. That one is very important, and I'm expecting that one any moment, wherever God brings that one from. It's going to be a favor. It's going to be a favor. I wonder who God has prepared. Anyways, as my wife, I wonder whom God has prepared. I'm looking forward to seeing that person, because sometimes I just wonder who is that person that God have designed. I just want to imagine, how it is, and the person too will be wondering who is that person God has prepared as my husband too. These are very technical issues that have to do with their spirit. Anyways, thank you, dear friends. It's good to have you, to host you on this special program, NUGGET Conference, and of course, where we host and we talk about him. Remember, this is 106 days to our freedom. 106 days to our freedom. So we are preparing very, very well. Every one of you preparing, all of us preparing, and I hope to see every one of you in Biafra. In the next 106 days, we will be in our land. We're going to develop our land. We're going to grow our land together. We're going to do wonderful things, celebrate, do the things we need to do collectively, as a people that God has given this special privilege to be loved, to be wonderful to the world, to become instruments of change, instruments of growth to the nations of the world, an instrument of influence to the growth of the world and to the change that the world is looking for. The world is they think they are too smart, but they are not wise. The world full of wisdom, full of smartness. Everybody's smart. Everybody doing smart things and bringing out smartphones, bringing out system and technology, everything. Smart people, but not intelligent, not wise. That's what we have all over the nations of the world. But God is building Biafrans smart and wise, so that they can influence the world, so that the world can learn to be wise. That is what God has designed us to be. And I thank you all for being part of this. I thank our guests, not my guests, our guests, because this platform belongs to Biafrans. This platform belongs to Biafrans. NUGGET Conference holds every Saturday where we feature veterans. We remember veterans. Yes, next week, Saturday, we're going to have Pastor IK in the house. He has begun something critical. He's going to continue that on next week, Saturday, 1 p.m. Biafra time. See you there next week. And also, please remember, tomorrow is the NUGGET Conference. We're going to be looking at the scripture. I'm going to be giving you scriptural references. Sorry, no, sometimes when we talk fast, before you need to make some mistakes. Scriptural references that will prove the Godhead and the deity. So these things you don't need to argue about them. Just know the scripture. The scripture will prove everything that you need to know. Elohim, God, is God. And God also sometimes as a uniplural noun is expressed, of course, over about 287 times in scripture as, gods, which of course in reference to many aspects of scripture. We see it there when God said, let us make man in our own image. He was referring to the Godhead. Most parts of scripture too, when Abraham was telling Abimelech, he said, the gods made me wonder, and all of this stuff are expression of Elohim, the word Elohim, which is used about 2,700 times in the Old Testament, and of course expressed in the uniplural noun, sometimes as verb and as pronoun, used in a uniplural form, to express the Godhead. That is talking about the God Father, the God Son, the God Spirit, and all of that. So each of them having their own personal spirit, soul, and body, because they are persons, 3 persons, individual persons in one God, making up the God, the united force, the Godhead. Thank you so much all for joining. I really look forward to having you tomorrow. And of course, remember the Mind Surgery Show on Monday. We're going to be having Prince Izim Ihanacho in the house. Remember also, next week, Friday, 25th of November, we are beginning the Alliance program with the Oduduwa Nation. Koiki Media will be here and another media personnel from the Oduduwa Nation. They'll be here on Friday next week on the Alliance in Focus program. Alliance in Focus program. Every Friday, we're going to be featuring Oduduwa media personnel and maybe elders that we're going to arrange from the Oduduwa Nation who will come to speak to us when we have them on the show to be interviewed and all of that. So we're going to be having it strong here. Mazi Simon Ekpa has already approved it on this platform, Biafra Global Network. It's going to be holding strong and it's going to be holding firm. We have that agreement, that alliance. We're going to be showcasing the alliance and continuing the alliance in the minds of the people using the auspices of this platform, Biafra Global Network, to showcase this. And remember also, every last Friday of the month, we're going to be having the joint mega conference between the Oduduwa media team and the Biafra media autopilot media team. Together, we're going to be having that large conference, holding, and all of that. So prepare your minds for this great moment that we have. Prepare your minds for this great moment. Remember, tomorrow, join me tomorrow. I'm going to play the video of those children again to titillate you somehow and to make you feel good about what actually we have. The fight we're fighting and the things we're doing right now is because of our children, because of posterity that is coming. So we are doing what we're doing now because we want to influence and impact the generations to come. That is why we must get our freedom. And in 106 days from now, we're going to have our children experience total freedom, and they are going to grow in the new nation and carry out their talents and their abilities and their gifts and everything they carry inside of them, display them in the nation Biafra, and make Biafra a cynosure of global focus. That is it. Watch these children again on Biafra Global Network.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the Messiah, and Simon Ekpa, the John the Baptist, is the voice. Simon Ekpa, water is the code.
Simon Ekpa, Nnamdi Kanu. Simon Ekpa, Nnamdi Kanu. I love you, I love you. Simon Ekpa, Simon Ekpa, I love you. I love you. Simon April, Vaticano. Simon April, Vaticano. I love you. I love you. Simon April. Simon April. I love you. I love you. Simon April.
I was actually dancing to that, even if there's no beat, there's no music in it, just the voice, there's no music in it. I was still catching the groove. You know why? Because the spirit is actually regulating the groove. So there's a standard groove, even if you can feel it in the realm of this physical, but there's a standard groove that is being expressed by the spirit. So she actually was just giving us the groove, and the spirit was regulating the music. There's a difference between the lyric and the pronouncements and all of that and the music. So she actually was depending on the spirit, as the spirit is just giving the groove of this. Thank you all. Please like this video right now and subscribe to this channel. Please, we want you to subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to this channel so that we can have other people listen to this. Subscribe to this channel and send this video on all your social media platforms. Send to the people wherever you can find them, your enemies, your friends, your loved ones, your well-wishers, people around you, people that you just met for the first time, you're just meeting, you're going to meet anytime. People, just send to anybody, because anybody could be saved and anybody could become an instrument. Even from the mouth of children, out of the mouth of babes and sucklings, the Lord has ordained praise. Out of the mouth of babes and sucklings, the Lord has ordained praise. So this is the praise that God has ordained in the children abroad and the children in Biafra land. Thank you all for being part of this. I love you all, and God bless you. Real good. See you tomorrow, 1 p.m. Biafra time, on the conference, on the Back to Base program. Back to Base program. Thank you so much, all of you. Thank you, John Almeida. Thank you, beautiful. Yes, thank you, John. Thank you, Iwune. Have a lovely weekend, Kelechi. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Iwune, for that. And you too have a lovely weekend. Thank you all. God bless you. Really good.